So just a few key takeaways from the video. Number one, I'm going to leave the coordinates, GPS coordinates. All you have to do is copy, paste, take a screenshot, copy, paste, go to Google Maps, put it in, paste, boom, it'll take you right there. Number one. Number two, I think I figured out what this is. Now, if I was a dishonest UFO channel, I would play this off like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever, and just run with it. But to be honest, I think I may have figured it out. You guys let me know. I will post a minute mark to my theory. Okay, and number three, we've heard plenty of guys, Jake Barber, Dave Grush, Lou Elizondo, News Nation, all these people talking about these crashed UAP retrieval programs. And could this be one of those? An example of that? I don't know. So, all right, guys, let's get to it. Here we go. Nocturnal news. Okay, to the left, we have Algeria. To the right, Libya. Now check this, guys, out. I found something pretty interesting in the middle of the Sahara Desert. Look at this, guys. Looks like your classic UFO, like a flying saucer. Now, a couple of key things to point out. I'm going to zoom out here a little bit. Number one, okay, this object was not here in previous photos. Now, you guys know on Google Earth Pro, and we'll do it in a minute, you can go back and look, 15, 20 years at different satellite passes, and you do not see this object. It only appears in the 2025 satellite photo. I also went to other satellite platforms, and I found a few interesting pictures. Okay, that's number two. Number three, look at these markers. Okay, you guys know Stonehenge, or like that recent discovery under the lake. I mean, multiple discoveries. There's always some type of outline. Okay, you have these stones, almost like markers, like these geographical markers, letting future explorers, archaeologists, whatever, know that something is buried beneath, something lies beneath. Okay, perhaps. Okay, look, I'm going to spin it around here so we can zoom in. It kind of loses its circular disc form the more that you zoom in. And of course, we're going to show all the years. I think it goes back to like 2005, I think. So, okay, another thing I noticed, this weird, I don't know, I'm going to call it earthworks over here, almost like a little pyramid type thing going on over here. You have a somewhat, we'll call it a famous historical marker. There's a fort down here to the right, and, it was kind of my theory that perhaps this fort was guarding this object, or guarding this, whatever it is, this location. And we'll talk more about that momentarily. But let's have one more quick look. I'm going to zoom in the best I can before we move forward. Okay, again, just look at how these stones outline this thing. I think that's very peculiar, very unique, and I think there's a reason for that. Now let's have a different look at this object, and we're going to get to what I think it is. I just want to show you guys every piece of evidence I have, and you make up your own mind. Again, you have Fort Flatters down there to the south. We can take a look at this fort. It's a really cool fort. The rumor was that this fort was there protecting this unearthed object, this UAP, this crashed down UFO. You see the guard towers. It's a cool story, but it's just that, a story. And this is really kind of an unknown case, and that's what I like to bring you guys, is things that perhaps have never heard of. Okay, one more look here, and a friend of mine, I don't want to say her name, was pointing out the different shadows and things like that. We thought perhaps it was fake, but then again, I got the coordinates, I went to the GPS location. It's definitely there, but it's only there in 2025. You see the stones outlining it, and then I started thinking, okay, they're in the desert. It's really hot, right? So what would they need? What would they need out there? They would need power. Okay, so I followed all the power lines around, trying to figure out what type of electricity this particular village has. And I started thinking this almost looks like the base of a wind turbine, right? And then I started Googling and looking for videos of wind turbine bases, and I gotta be honest, it looks almost identical. You see the round disc in the middle right there, that's where the base of the turbine would mount to. You have all the rebar in the concrete, so when they're pouring the concrete, and then ultimately when they pour it, I'm going to show you guys a little picture here in a minute, it looks just like a UFO. But I'm not saying that's what it is. I mean, but if I had to put a logical earthly explanation onto this, that's probably what it is. Now right here, this is a different satellite photo. Okay, you can almost see the rebar, the crisscross, right? Okay, and we're going to have a better look at that. And again, this is why I like to use multiple satellite platforms, okay? And right there, you can really see the outline. But it's just so weird. I mean, why would those stones be there? And this is the base. Now, this is not the location, okay, here in the Sahara Desert. This right here was, you know, I think this was in the UK or something like that. So again, I just went and found, you know, the foundations, the bases, the anchors for these wind turbines, and that's what they look like. Someone actually brought it up on Reddit, and I said, you know, that's a pretty damn good idea. Let me go look. And I gotta say, guys, it's pretty close, okay? You got the disc, you have the, you know, the smaller disc on tops, the rebars where it bolts in. It makes sense. Now, to the left of this object, there's a long, what looks to be like a crate, perhaps where the wind turbine itself is being stored, you know, next to this anomaly. But again, it's a theory. It's a working theory. I don't know. What do you guys make of it? But this is my belief. I believe it is the base of a wind turbine. And of course, on all these different UFO channels out there, they're telling you this is a crashed, downed UFO. You know, this is it. David Grush has been vindicated, right? Luis Elizondo vindicated. You know, all of these guys. Jeremy Corbell vindicated. Okay, so look, and I'm not saying that isn't, you know, a thing. Okay, I totally believe in S4 and downed UAPs. All right, let's have a little side-by-side comparison. Now, on the left, you see the concrete form, the rebar, the 2x10, 2x12, the planks up top, probably some yellow pine. You see it looks like about a, 16, 20-foot extension ladder right there. You know, you see your typical 3/4, 1-inch bolts up top. Yes, I've done a lot of this work. And on the right, you have this anomaly. Now, I'm not calling this a debunked, okay? But, you know, it's probably a wind turbine. But again, I'm about 70, 30, 60, 40 probably on this. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this exact location 6 months to a year from now, and I think we might see a wind turbine in this exact location, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Now, if it's covered up with a big pile of dirt, then we know something is going on. So this one, in my opinion, it's not debunked. It is to be continued. All right, guys, leave a comment below and let me know what you think.